After the interception, here's Ryan. Going underneath, it's Coleman. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and it'll make it a second down. Now Ryan. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And he'll wind up losing 5 yards or so on the return, but no matter, they've got the football back. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
They needed some breathing room. He gave it to them. 11 yards and a first down. Out from the shadows of their goal line, here's 1st and 10 from the 11. Well, throw on first down with Wilson. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. But he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
A first carry for the converted wideout, J.D. McKissick. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 10, right around the 9-yard line. 3 yards on the gain. They're going to need to do better on this next play. It'll be 3rd and 12. Now it's Wilson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by DeMonte Kazin. And he's going to get this on down to the 13-yard line. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. That's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set them back for 2nd down.
While we know that the identity of this offense is to throw the ball, they've got to run it every so often, if for no other reason than to tamp down the pass rush. They can't let them just tee off and get to their quarterback.
Now Ryan on 2nd down. Flushed out right. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. So they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, but it leads to 4th down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And Bryant's kick is good. And the Falcons are out to a 3-0 advantage. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all year? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy. I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
On second down, Wilson. And he rifles one incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there. And it's 3rd down.
My man's getting a little loose with the football there, right? Interception before, almost had one here. He's got to start taking better care of it.
Yeah, really should have been back-to-back drives with interceptions. He's lucky there. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. From the shotgun, Wilson trying to lay one up deep. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. From the gun, it's Ryan. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity. And that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week. And right now, we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
On 1st down, Ryan. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. Bobby Wagner in there to get him for a loss of 5. They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. Dancing to his left. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. From the shotgun, Ryan. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sacked back at the 9-yard line. Now Zaire Jones in there to get him. And that's sack number 6 for him on the year. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And Bryant's kick is good. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the first. So 2 first-quarter field goal attempts for him, and he's converted on both.
I like the positive right there. 2 for 2, got the points on the board. The negative side is they didn't score touchdowns. And, of course, going forward in this game, that's going to be the aim. And hopefully they'll be kicking extra points instead.
And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to...
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And they'll be at the 18-yard line. Great field position here in the red zone. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. And his pass incomplete. The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You've got to cash in and get some points.
A 3rd field goal of the first half, not what they're looking for as they come up on 3rd down. Third and long. It's Ryan. And he's got his star receiver. It's Jones for the Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Falcons will extend their lead. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And the lead now stands at 13. Here's Bosher to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. It's Wilson again. He's going to air one out. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. It was Desmond Trufant right there, step for step in coverage. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know. But all these first-half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah, couldn't find a silver lining in this one. Much more like lead.
Here's Wilson. He's going deep for Brown. And now here is another interception. It's Desmond Trufant. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped.
That's caught inside the 20. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a first down. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. From the red zone now, here's Ryan on first down. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Nazir Jones, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. From the gun, Ryan. And the pressure gets to him again.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons. Operating from the gun, Ryan swings it out to the flat for Freeman. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And that last field goal, number 400 for him in his NFL career. I don't know whether this will wind up a Hall of Fame career, but he's certainly been at the top of his profession for quite a while.
And that is without question, my man. One of the best kickers we've seen in the past decade or so. Big congratulations to him. Pretty nice round number.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. So a jump there defensively.
That's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
Now a chance to make that encroachment penalty really hurt. 1st and 5. Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And the Falcons say they have it. They do.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him. Following the fumble recovery, it's Ryan. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
2nd and 10 now. Ryan letting one go deep for the end zone. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
On 3rd down, Ryan going to throw deep for the end zone. And he's got his star receiver. It's Jones for the Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half. Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. 2nd and 10 now, Wilson. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued. Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play. And they got it inside the 10 at the 8. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal. We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt. Here's Ryan. And he's got it. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5. 2nd and goal, and the lone man in the backfield is Freeman. Ryan. And this is incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free. The way he's been slinging it in the first half, you expect everything he throws to go for a touchdown, but I guess he's going to have to wait to try and pick up that 3rd, isn't he? Yeah, I thought he had him for a second, but you're right, not to be. They'll look to run with Freeman. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Falcons add on. And he's got it up and through. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they? Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40.
A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
On first down, Wilson. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. Give him 8 on the play, and it's a second down.
Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Go. Shotgun. Mike 5'9",
From the gun, it's Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's third down.
Nice job there defensively. A great time to dial up a blitz.
And give him credit under center instead of throwing it away. Actually, a pretty good job of getting past the line of scrimmage, not losing yardage. A carry now for McKissick. Well, he's taken down, but not before picking up the first thanks to a flashy little spin move. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Gotta go.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there of 20 yards. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Atlanta right after this timeout. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
18.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson going for it all. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. On 3rd down, Wilson. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
This defense not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And his kick is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive, but they stiffened when they got close to the goal line, made them kick a field goal. And for the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. They have been red hot, sometimes white hot here in this first half. They're just looking to add to that total right now.
And this has to serve as a reminder to myself because so many times I get wrapped up in the play calling, how they've sequenced things, how it's run. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's still execution. Those guys out on the field, and right now they are locked in and really looking good.
They'll try to continue to be locked in here as we get ready to approach halftime. Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on 2nd and a couple. On 2nd down, Ryan. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. The Pro Bowl wideout Julio Jones, his intended receiver. And it's 3rd and short.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop. On the screen, this is Coleman. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. On 4th down, here's Matt Bosher on to punt. Back deep, the dangerous Tyler Lockett. Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. They'll throw on first down with Wilson. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way down to the 36-yard line. A big play there just before halftime. 47 yards. Now Wilson on first down. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Throwing is Wilson. He's going to rifle one deep left side, and that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a fourth down. And his kick is indeed good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42-yard line. Great return. And here now come the Falcons. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
And they extend their lead, a little added cushion into the lockers. What a way to finish.
Tremendous way. That's momentum that they carry in with them. Can they convert it and bring it back out to start the third quarter?
We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. So second in inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. From the gun, it's Ryan. Flush to his right. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. There he goes, right side. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. Short throw, pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that will get them one closer. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Earl Thomas in on the stop.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Five down. Five down.
And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. Here's Matt Bosher now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Fair catch called for and collected right at the 10-yard line. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
19. 36 power. 95. Hey, watch it. Gotta go. Hey.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much there at all as he'll get this only up to about the 11. Vic Beasley able to make the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll go again with McKissick. And he takes this across the 15 to the 17. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Maybe a little frustration starting to creep in. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of protecting him in this game, and there he was, hit again as he threw it.
Yeah, another time on his backside, probably starting to get a little frustrated.
Got to keep his composure. Can't let the defense know that they're getting to him.
Taken in at the 22. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They'll try to get the ground game going with Freeman. And he's got room. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd down, here's Ryan. He's got Freeman here. It's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Over the middle, complete. It's Price. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. Give him 30 yards there. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback and his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage.
We got three, fellas. We got three.
The delay of game, a costly one, as they're backed up 5 for 1st and goal.
Hey. You got three. Three down.
After the penalty, here's Freeman. And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Falcons continue to pour it on. Bryant's extra point up and good. And that will extend this big lead. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Keep playing hard, fellas.
Now Wilson on 2nd down. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And the Falcons say they have it. They do.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
And he's got his star receiver. It's Jones for the Falcon touchdown. Matt Ryan connecting on his 4th touchdown pass of the ball game. And the Falcons use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Bryant tacks on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Here's Bosher to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
No, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. Almost unstoppable on the ground there as that one is good for 39. Around the NFL, 3rd quarter from Foxborough. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. And he'll be stopped up quickly here at the 38. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
On 2nd down, here's Penny. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Here's Wilson on third down. And he fends him off. But he can't get away forever, and down he goes. William Hayes with a big-time sack on third down. And it'll be a loss of 7. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Now this is fielded in the end zone. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the Falcons are going to get it at the 20. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just give him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent is really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them, too.
Yeah, now they're just looking to add to that total. 2nd and 9 now from the 21. They'll run it now out of the gun. Pretty nice move, but not a ton of space there. They stop him shy of the 25. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to third down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
The Falcons on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, Bridgewater. Flushed out right. He can run for it, and he will. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Hurry up.
On 1st and 10, Bridgewater. Oh, he's got a little daylight. Getting it out left side to Sanu. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Give him 30 yards there. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
On 2nd down, Bridgewater again. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know, in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Hey. Gotta go. Motion. Cut.
Penny, a first down carry. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Again, it's Penny. And able to work about 5 yards out of this as he's taken down up near the 47.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This will be 3rd and 6. Play action. Now Wilson. He lets it fly for Rocket. And this is caught inside the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And at this stage, down in the 2nd half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
He gets it halfway there with that run. I think you play up-tempo, get right back on the line of scrimmage, and hammer at him again.
Penny will try to punch it in. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that is going to set up 3rd and goal. They come up in an offset eye. On 3rd down, it's Carson, and this will result in him losing yardage back to the 3. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Another stop on 3rd down, and this defense still hasn't allowed a touchdown to this point.
And this one is right through. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the 4th quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
It's a loss of 8 there on the 1st down play. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, It tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. The Falcons on third down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. Bridgewater to throw it. And this one caught by Dez Bryant. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. It's a 15-yard pickup, but it'll lead to a 4th down. Here's Matt Bosher now as he's on to punt for Atlanta. Now it's Lockett. We'll call that a 49-yard punt, but a net of just 39 following the 10-yard return. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. And out now come the Seahawks. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
On 3rd down, Penny. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Boy, and now they can't even get a playoff. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. This will be fielded at the 17. Well, that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So out come the Falcons now. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. There were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game, but these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys who's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad.